Business Report.
Good evening. Tonight, President Kumar Dissanayake presented the Budget 2026 to Parliament, emphasizing reform-driven spending on digital infrastructure, healthcare, education and assistance for disadvantaged populations. The Budget 2026 for Sri Lanka broadens the tax base by extending VAT to smaller businesses to control imported items. The all-share price index saw slight increases today. Colombo stocks continue to rise and the S&P SL20 also demonstrated upward momentum. And Asian markets are expected to drop weekly as selling pressure on technology shares persists.
From Studio 24C, here's Anuradi Vikramasinghe.
Good evening and welcome to the Nightly Business Report on Other Derana News Channel. President Kumar Dissanayake today presented the Budget 2026 in Parliament, highlighting reform-driven allocations for healthcare, education, digital infrastructure and support for vulnerable groups. At approximately around 1:30 p.m., President Kumar Dissanayake, in his capacity as the Minister of Finance, presented his budget proposal for the year 2026. Here, the President said that his government hopes to target a budget deficit of 5.1% of gross domestic product in 2026, and the revised outturn for 2025 was 4.5% of GDP, budget documents show. Sri Lanka is targeting total revenues of 5,270 billion rupees, 15.3% of GDP against revised outturn of 5,075 billion rupees, 15.9% of GDP in 2025. Recurrent expenditure would be 5,688 billion rupees, up from 5,530 billion revised. Public investment would be 1,380 billion rupees, up from revised 1,033 billion in 2025. The revenue deficit would be 418 billion rupees, down from revised 455 billion rupees. The primary surplus is targeted at 860 billion rupees, down from a revised 1,202 billion rupees. The government aims to spend 654 billion rupees for healthcare, with an allocation of 704 billion rupees for education. 456 billion was given for development work, especially in the transportation sector, while the President announced 85.7 billion for drinking water supply, 44.8 billion for housing development, 19.6 billion for rural development, 13.5 billion for youth and sports, and 5.4 for infrastructure development in the sector. Towards productive, modernized and sustainable agriculture to enhance country's food and nutrient security, the government hopes to spend 267 billion rupees. Meanwhile, under the thematic of Towards an Evergreen Life, the government hopes to spend 53 billion rupees, while commitment towards a peaceful and fair society, the government has allocated 307 billion rupees. National security was a key area of focus by the government at an allocation of 407 billion in the coming budget year. The government also allocated 120 billion rupees towards entrepreneurship development, while energy gets just a mere 23 billion rupees. Meanwhile, a whopping 837 billion rupees was allocated for social security aspects and separate figure of 30 billion rupees. President Kumar Dissanayake unveiled the 2026 budget in Parliament today, and the budget focused on fiscal consolidation, inclusive growth and strategic investments in healthcare, education and digital infrastructure. For more insights and analysis, we have with us Advocata Institute CEO Dhananath Fernando.
Yes, Arulade. The budget mainly do not incorporate any major expenditure proposals, which is in a way good, because we are anyway under an IMF program and our next tranche will be determined by basically being in the same perimeter, and we really do not have an option. So in that sense it's good. However, compared to the estimated figures of 2025, the estimated budget deficit is expected to be widened. On the other side, the revenue is also expected to be increased by about 200 billion, so as the expenditure is expected to go up by another 400 billion. As a result, the budget deficit as a percentage of GDP is also expected to slightly widen, which I think could have been done better. In terms of revenue, the threshold has been brought down. That means a lot of some small and medium enterprises may now fall into the VAT threshold, so as the social security levy threshold, where they have to register for VAT and social security levy. Earlier it was about 5 million rupees a month turnover company has to register for VAT. Now it has been basically brought down to about 3 million. So if you are earning a revenue more than 3 million, you have to register for VAT so as for social security levy. Those are the broader implications. There is also a suggestion or a proposal to incorporate social security levy on vehicles. So that may have some implication on the vehicle prices as well. But overall it really does not have any extravagant expenditure item. It's pretty much looking forward to going in the same direction. At the same time, President, I think, and as a finance minister, gave a lot of emphasis on the economic stability and on the macroeconomic framework, where how we can reach out to about 7% growth. I think what is needed is the execution capacity of these proposals, and pretty much some proposals which was pronounced in the last budget. That's where we have to move forward.
Let's take a short break now. This is the Nightly Business Report. Welcome back to the Nightly Business Report. Colombo stocks extended gains today. The all share price index posted modest increases, while the S&P SR20 also showed upward momentum, reflecting positive investor sentiment in the market. For further insights on this, we have Manusha Kandanarachi from First Capital Holdings.
Thank you, Anuradhi. The Colombo stock market extended its positive momentum as the national budget was presented today, with the all-share price index surging 226 points to close at 23,338. Investor focus was largely directed towards banking sector counters, while retail participation remained robust and high net worth activity continued at a moderate level. Key positive contributors to the index included Senkadagala Finance, Commercial Bank, Sampath Bank, Hatton National Bank and Valuable One PLC. Market turnover stood at 6.7 billion rupees, reflecting a 7% decline from the monthly average of 7.2 billion rupees as well. The banking sector led the market activity, accounting for 23% of the total turnover, followed by the capital goods and food, beverage and tobacco sectors, which collectively contributed 32%. Meanwhile, foreign investors remain net sellers, posting a net outflow of 38.1 billion rupees for the day. Thank you.
This week, the Colombo Stock Exchange recorded modest gains, with both the ASPI and S&P SR20 indices showing positive performance. Investor sentiment remained upbeat, supported by selective buying across key sectors. For further insights on this, we have Shahana Kanagaratnam from First Capital Holdings.
Thank you, Anuradhi. The Colombo Bourse began the shortened trading week on a positive note and largely maintained its upward momentum. The ASPI surpassed the 23,000 mark during the week, maintaining its trajectory to close on a positive note. With the majority of listed companies releasing their financial results for the September quarter, the market experienced a generally active session, with both retail and high net worth investors staying engaged. Daily turnover ranged from 5 to 6 billion rupees. A key event of the week was the announcement of the national budget on Friday, and market activity is expected to respond to these proposals in the upcoming week. Sectorally, investor interest was particularly strong in banking, capital goods and diversified financials. Thank you.
Oil prices recovered modestly today, supported by easing concerns of a potential supply glut amid sanctions on Russian firms. Brent crude futures rose 1% to $64.17 per barrel, while US West Texas Intermediate gained 1.2% to $60.33. The sanctions on Russia's largest oil companies imposed 2 weeks ago have raised worries about potential supply disruptions, even as OPEC and its allies continue to boost output. Global oil prices had fallen for a third consecutive month in October, driven by oversupply fears from both OPEC and non-OPEC producers. Analysts note that the market is balancing rising production against geopolitical tensions affecting Russian exports. The modest recovery reflects investor caution as markets assess supply and demand dynamics. Traders continue to monitor production trends and policy developments closely. Gold prices rose today as the dollar weakened following U.S. private sector job data that indicated softness in the country's labor market, fueling expectations of another interest rate cut. Spot gold climbed 0.4% to $3,994.03 per ounce, though it is still poised for a weekly decline of 0.3%. Since hitting a record high of $4,381.21, bullion has retreated nearly 8%. U.S. gold futures for December delivery rose 0.3% to $4,004.40 per ounce. The U.S. economy lost jobs in October driven by declines in government and retail sectors, according to Thursday's data. Layoffs surged due to corporate cost-cutting measures and increased adoption of artificial intelligence in businesses. The Sri Lankan rupee weakened further against the US dollar at commercial banks today compared to yesterday. At Commercial Bank, the buying rate for the US dollar rose from 299 rupees and 28 cents to 299 rupees and 67 cents, while the selling rate increased from 307 rupees and 75 cents to 308 rupees and 15 cents. With that, let's take a closer look at how the Sri Lankan rupee is performing against other major global currencies. Short break now. This is the Nightly Business Report. Welcome back to the Nightly Business Report. Denza, a premium EV brand by BYD and Daimler, combines luxury with advanced electric mobility technology. The brand is set to enter the Sri Lankan market, bringing cutting-edge electric vehicles to local customers.
In Sri Lanka, JKCG Auto will serve as the official distributor after-sales partner supporting the brand's premium ownership experience. The brand will debut locally with two flagship PHEV models, the Denza B5, a high-performance 4x4 SUV, and the Denza B8, a full-size luxury PHEV. The B5 competes the models with the Range Rover Sport and BMW X5, while the B8 rivals Land Rover Discovery, Lexus RX and Mercedes-Benz GLE. Both models feature Mercedes-inspired luxury combined with BYD's innovative electric technology, redefining country's premium mobility segment. Denza vehicles are equipped with DICE's intelligent body control system for adaptive suspension, ensuring superior handling and ride comfort.
Sampath Bank PLC has signed a memorandum of understanding with Ideal Motors Private Limited, the authorized distributor of Mahindra vehicles in Sri Lanka. The partnership aims to make vehicle ownership more affordable by offering customers exclusive financing solutions and benefits. Under the agreement, Sampath Bank will provide reduced leasing interest rates, interest-free insurance premium loans, and Sampath credit cards with no joining fee. Customers can also enjoy 0% interest on insurance payments made via Sampath credit cards for up to 12 months. Sampath Bank COO Deepa De Silva said the collaboration reflects the bank's commitment to providing accessible and flexible financial solutions that empower customers. Ideal Motors Director Legal and Corporate Affairs Nimisha Welgama highlighted that the partnership enhances value and improves the overall Mahindra vehicle ownership experience. Sunshine Holdings PLC reported a robust performance in the first half of finance year 26, showing strong growth across all its business sectors.
Reporting consolidated revenue of 32.3 billion rupees, up 7.4% year-over-year. The healthcare sector remained the largest contributor, accounting for 53.7% of total revenue, followed by consumer at 30.2% and agribusinesses at 16.1%. Gross profit rose 12.9% year-on-year to 10.3 billion rupees, with the gross profit margin improving by 153 basis points to 31.9%, driven largely by agribusiness margin expansion. Group EBIT increased 18.6% year-on-year to 5.5 billion rupees, reflecting strong performances in agribusiness and consumer sectors despite a 16.7% decline in healthcare EBIT. The EBIT margin expanded to 17%, supported by operational improvements in agribusiness and consumer segments. Healthcare sector revenue grew 7.4% year-on-year to 17.3 billion rupees, driven by growth in agency, distribution and retail pharmacy verticals.
Sri Lanka Telecom PLC has appointed Riaz Rashid as its new Chief Executive Officer effective the 1st of January 2026. His appointment was approved by the company's board of directors. Rashid brings over 34 years of professional experience, including 29 years in the telecommunications industry. He has held senior leadership roles at global firms such as Millicom International, Etisalat and Hutchinson. Rashid has also served as CEO, CFO and Deputy CEO in several Sri Lankan and international telecom companies. He holds an MBA, a bachelor's degree in pure sciences and multiple professional accounting and management qualifications. David Perry's Motor Company was honoured with the Merit Award at the Just Take Our CSR Sustainability Awards, recognising its commitment to corporate social responsibility.
The Japan-Sri Lanka Technical and Cultural Association recognizes organizations that demonstrate excellence in sustainable business practices guided by the Japanese Kaizen philosophy. DPMC's initiatives span environmental stewardship, renewable energy generation, community engagement, and technological innovation. The company has installed solar panels on large roof facilities to generate clean energy and reduce reliance on non-renewable resources. Its eDrive project promotes green mobility through in-house electric vehicle conversions, including adaptations for differently abled individuals. DPMC also invests in employee welfare and community development programs aimed at improving livelihoods and social well-being. Sustainability leadership at DPMC extends to ethical supply chain practices, risk management, and integration of sustainability planning with core business objectives.
Pan Asia Bank celebrated its 30th anniversary with the launch of a commemorative postage stamp, marking a major milestone in its journey of excellence and innovation. The special edition stamp, created in collaboration with the Post Department, highlights the bank's 3 decades of trusted service and commitment to sustainable financial growth in Sri Lanka. The launch event was held under the patronage of Chairman Aravinda Pereira and Director CEO Nalin Idrisinghe, with the participation of distinguished guests and officials. Pereira described the stamp as a tribute to the trust customers have placed in the bank over the past 3 decades. Idrisinghe emphasized that the milestone reflects the contributions of customers, employees and partners who have supported the bank's growth. Let's take a short commercial break. Global business updates coming on the other side. This is the Nightly Business Report. Welcome back to the Nightly Business Report. Asian stocks are set for a weekly decline as technology shares continue to face heavy selling pressure. Investors reacted cautiously to weak economic data from China, which fell short of market expectations. The tech sector has been the main drag, with major companies seeing sharp losses amid renewed risk aversion. Market sentiment was also weighed down by concerns over slowing global demand and tightening monetary conditions. Trading volumes remained moderate as investors awaited further guidance from central banks and corporate earnings reports. Analysts expect volatility to persist in the coming days as markets digest economic data and reassess growth prospects. Nissan Motors swung back to an operating profit in the second quarter, reporting its best result in over a year thanks to its efforts to reduce fixed costs and stronger sales in North America.
Nissan drove to an operating profit of $342 million in the second quarter. Thursday's number was the Japanese automaker's best quarterly result in more than a year. It was up 61% from a year earlier and easily beat analyst projections. It also improved on a first quarter operating decline. The profit was largely thanks to Nissan's efforts to lower fixed costs under a turnaround plan and stronger sales in North America. CEO Ivan Espinosa said Nissan expects a stronger performance in the second half of the financial year. He cited product-led growth and momentum from the second quarter. Thursday's result comes as the automaker moves ahead with a major turnaround plan. It aims to lower its global manufacturing plants to 10 sites from 17 and lay off 15% of its workforce. Nissan held a forecast released last week for a roughly $1.8 billion annual operating loss in the year through to next March. It's blamed US tariffs and supply chain risks, including problems with getting hold of Nexperia chips.
Thank you for watching the Nightly Business Report on Other Derana News Channel. We value your opinion as always, so please share your thoughts and feedback with us through email at feedback.adncenglish@derana.lk or via WhatsApp at 076-805-7933. We'll see you again on Monday with the latest updates in the business globe. Vinod Varnasurya will join you next with Other Derana Sports Central. Till then, I'm Anuradhi Vikramasinghe. Thank you very much for watching. Have a good night.